Does the new Nex-Gen Aero water bottle solve all the problems of the Elite Crono CX Aero water bottle? You'll find out the answer is no. And actually it adds more issues than the complaints of the Elite Crono CX. The difference between the two water bottles, they're both aerodynamic. They both work about the same aerodynamic-wise. Nex-Gen claims that they have more aerodynamic than these Elite ones, but tests have shown that the Elite Crono CX saves about, I don't know, 1 to 3 watts at 20 miles an hour. And, you know, how much difference is this shape going to make? I mean, I'm sure it's very insignificant, even though they think that this is much better. Number one. Number one is, you will find out, this is why I put it on a piece of paper here, dark paper, so you could see this, is that yes, it does leak, and there's more leak problem. Now notice, I'm just putting it here. The bottle is filled with water. It has an O-ring seal around here, and yet it is leaking. They claim that they test all these to be leak-proof at the factory before shipped, but obviously it's leaking. They claim that maybe my O-ring wasn't sealed right or in place properly, but it is. And the only thing is, you could squeeze it a little and it goes even for more. It comes right out of here. See that? All that water. Now I'll ignore that. That leak is another problem. Here is what I have. I tried to post a review on Nex-Gen's website, a slightly negative review, just issuing some of the issues here that I've had, trying to explain it. They never posted the review, only the positive reviews are on their website. It's a kind of a glaring little issue there. It's, you know, it's not real great. Okay, I'll go into the biggest complaints of the Elite Crono CX. These have been around for years. Both of these water bottles are about the same price, around $45 area. The Elite ones, the biggest thing is they fit in the mount loosely, and they tend to leak from the valve. They changed the valves to something a little different, although I've changed back to the other ones because I like these better. And the reason why they leak is when you go over a bounce, this will pop off create a pressure in here, and it'll pop up and leak. You can't use anything but water. Anything, if you're using Gatorades or any kind of sugar drinks or something, it'll leak down here, get all over your bike, and make a total gooey mess, sticky mess. So I don't use anything but water on these. And then my big hopes were, wow, Nex-Gen, great, man. They got a new one here. It looks like it mounts different. And maybe they solved all these problems, right? Well, unfortunately, they didn't. The Elite Crono CX, it can be solved, and I'll show you how it's going to be solved a little later. But the Elite brand uses this little mount here. And what it does, these little circles down here go into mounts down under here. I forget which way it goes now. Yep, it goes that way. But it goes in here and kind of snaps in place. It holds really well. Never had a problem with it really falling or coming out once it's in there. It didn't wobble or do anything rattling. The problem is that it's so hard on here that it's really hard to get off and on. And they think that you're supposed to grab it here. Well, maybe if you have really big hands, you can grab it like this, but I'm grabbing it here, and I never could grab it well on my bike. Note, I don't have this on my bike anymore. I don't like them, and I'm returning this one, but the issue here is I had to grab it up here. I had to grab it up here to pull it off, okay, and push it back on. And I've dropped this a couple times, trying to get it back on, okay, and it's a struggle to get it on and off the mount. It's just a little too hard. And the reason why it has to be that hard is the tolerances are too tight in here. It's just not a very good design. As you can see, it's leaking all over the herb here now. So the other issue I have is when I pull it up like this, and they make fun of me, but I pulled it up like this. I'm left-handed off my front bar. I pull it off like this, and somehow I always ended up with it holding it like this, and I'm squeezing it. Well, my mouth is here. This thing is angled that way, so I couldn't really get it in my mouth well. They make fun of me, but the Crono CX is coming straight up here. You can turn it this way, hold it that way. It's always straight up into your mouth. They made fun of me when I wrote about this. It's like, who ever heard of a left-handed water bottle? Well, I said, well, it's the way I'm pulling it out. When I pull it out, I'm turned this way, and they just don't want to admit to that. Okay. It's maybe not a problem if you're light-handed. If you pull it out a different way, maybe it doesn't matter to you. The only other problem I have is with the valve. The valve looks like it could work and stuff, but it's actually really poor. It's made out of what they call silicone rubber. And notice how easy it goes up and down here. And it's so easy that when you have your mouth and you're on it, you can easily just close it, while you're drinking. And it gets very annoying because it actually is pretty hard to pull up when it's in your mouth, okay? Now, it's designed to pull off, to clean, okay? I never had a problem cleaning my water bottle, so, it's like I don't quite understand that, but it does tend to leak if you squeeze it. See the valve, it doesn't really ever close. I mean, if you put a little pressure on that, it leaks, the valve leaks. Okay, and then that's not the leak that I'm seeing down here from the O-ring. That's a separate issue. So those are some issues here that the Crono never had. Okay, now the Crono I could put in and out of the cage without any effort at all, and it goes in, and I'll show you a trick to keep it in there and keep it from rattling. It's like very, very inexpensive to do. I don't know why Crono, after so many years, have never changed their valve or changed their mount to work a little better. There is another one around. I don't know if it's a Crono CX or a Chinese knockoff, but they have one that has a mount in here that kind of slides inside and has a magnet holding it on. I have a couple on order. I'm going to try those. I don't know if they'll work out at all yet. Some people have read that they actually work better, and they haven't had a problem with them falling off or whatever. But, so we'll go over to the other mounting techniques now. Okay, the quick fix to solve the Crono CX water bottle from bouncing up and down when it's half full is very simple. You could do this a couple different ways. You can put either foam tape, or what I did is I just had some Velcro around, and I just used that. What you'll want to do is go around here, all the way around to here, and put a piece of foam tape or some kind of a thicker tape, or even what I used is Velcro. And you also want to put it down in here, 2 pieces down here. And once you do that, it pretty much stops most of the rattling, and it holds better too. This is the old version. The old version has these polka dot golf ball holes in it. They do have a newer bottle, which made actually it worse. It actually fits worse, and I've dropped this bottle out several times before I got smart. And see how this one holds nice and tight now? This is their new one, which is actually looser than their old one. What I did here was I cut out little pieces of plastic here, bent it in here, and put it on here with double stick tape. So that what it does is it increases the width right here. And when that width is more, it holds in tighter here. So that's their solution for their newer bottle. As you can see, it fits nice and tight, tighter than my other older one actually now. It just makes it a little harder to pull out. The Nex-Gen, let me get one of those here. Nex-Gen, I love their mount, if it worked well, because it's very lightweight, it's very unobtrusive. I got a little worried because it's a little sharp here. I was thinking, well, shoot, if I end up falling or hitting that, I'm going to cut myself open on that. Probably will on these anyway, but it just looks really sharp like a blade here. But these mount the same area, just same right here. And it's, if you have, well, you can't put two of them on. That's another problem here. Without the bottle on, it's very aerodynamic because it's just this little aerodynamics piece here, which is nice. But again, getting it on and off is a very hardship. If you're going 20, 30 miles an hour down a street or whatever, or a trail, you're coming up on bumps, you're coming up on traffic and such forth, trying to goof around with this Nex-Gen, taking it on and off, struggling with it, taking it on and off. I just think it just becomes dangerous. The other problem, they claim that this is more aerodynamic. Well, on my particular bike and a lot of aerodynamic tri-bikes, it's actually, the thickness is thicker than the Crono CX. I don't know if you could see that on here or not. I'm sure it's not even in on the camera, but the Crono CX is a little thinner, which basically makes it more aerodynamic, regardless of their expertise in aerodynamics. You know, some things trump others in aerodynamics. Okay, then I'll go and discuss another problem. You can only fit one bottle of the Nex-Gen on your bike, and I'll show you why. Okay, now this might be a little more difficult to visualize since I already reverted back to my Crono CX setup here. The issue here would be that you can only fit one Nex-Gen water bottle on your bike. And the reason is you put it here, and as you can visually see it here, it comes down here and it fits, but look at that room here. There's no room to put any other bottle here. Even if you put it way up here or something, this tail out here just precludes anything from fitting two, basically. So you're stuck with just one, so anything, if you need more than one for longer rides, and these do not hold a lot of water. You know, I could finish one of these in a very short period of time. If I'm going on hot weather, going over 30 miles, I'm going to need two water bottles, especially these smaller ones. And obviously, you know, you don't have fill-ups locations everywhere. Now, you note that I have two mounts here for the Crono CX. You can mount two Crono CXs, no problem, without any modifications like I did here. They'll fit in here, as you see here. They fit perfectly together. Now, and that can make a more aerodynamics, because when you block this segment up here, you're getting more aerodynamic flow around the bottom bracket. I did something here, I modified my bike mount with one of these offset adapters back here. It's made out of aluminum, and what I did is I offset this other mount down. So I could get in here now. It's not too easy to do. You got to be more careful, but I use this as my secondary water bottle. This is my primary water bottle. As you can see, they fit here beautifully. It kind of blocks in that crank area and seals it, and it gives a better, more aerodynamic flow. You can't do that with the Nex-Gen Aero water bottle. So overall, as you can see, I went back to the Crono CX setup. I found that it just works better for me. You can see it's just easy to come in and out. I'm not going to show you the Nex-Gen coming in and out. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to trust me that I don't want to go put it all back on there. It takes me 10 minutes to do, and I don't want to do it. But believe me, it's much harder to get on and off. You can't just go like that, okay? You will struggle pulling it out. Okay, and that struggle gets dangerous, I think. Pulling up, you know, here's the ticket. You get a chance to take a water bottle out now and then, and in between cars, in between things, in between people on the trail or whatever, you pull it out. You go like that. Hey, I'm going to get a quick drink here for a little bit here, and then I'm going to put it back in. Okay, but with the Nex-Gen here, what I was doing was I was saying, oh, I need to get a drink, and I'm struggling to get it out. Okay, I'm holding it in my hand, going 20 over 20, and I'm coming up on some people pretty fast, and I'm going, well, I'd really rather have two hands on the handlebar when I pass people, and I try to put it back in, and it's so hard to get in that I couldn't do it. But the next, you see these? Pop right in, easy. Remember, you could solve that problem of rattling and falling out with this incredible simple little job. Why Crono hasn't done it, I have no idea. But I'm just saying that I went back to these Crono CXs, and I'm just going to have to live with them. Maybe those magnetic mount versions will work better than these. We'll see. Don't know. The only issue I have and why I want to go to that is they still rattle a little, and they're not completely easy to get out. They may tend to fall out. Like I said, I had to modify this bottle with plastic, double stick taped on it just to get it to work. So nothing's perfect here, but the Nex-Gens are worse. That's all I got to say.